not only if you don't kind of take the time to know what the people that are working with you and for you are doing, then like your film most likely is going to fall flat on its face if everyone's not. And I think you put it much better in the sense that I'm not shooting my opus. I'm shooting what's the best for this particular project. And I definitely want you filmmakers out there to hear that. Like, I feel like that is such a gem of information because, you know, I don't think I'm saying anything groundbreaking when I say we are drifting towards the Untitled. And, you know, I think you filmmakers need to hear that. Like, it's going to be a collaborative effort, literally, until you're done making film. Like when you're 80 years old and you're done, everything that you have done up until that point was a combination of the help that you had around you. And it's something that's so, I just feel like we dismiss it so too easy. And no, I mean, to that point, there is, especially starting out, there is an energy and an excitement to put your stamp on something. And I was reading a thread on Reddit where people were asking The Offspring, because they've got a new young listeners, that's a band from the 90s. But they were asking The Offspring, you know, like, about their musical style and how they've changed and whatever. And then there was another podcast I was listening to where they were talking about, you know, being creative. It was the Smart List podcast, and they were talking with Billie Eilish and talking about, like, how did you get your sound and blah blah blah. And every artist or a creator or cinematographer or director, writer, whatever, you got to imitate the things you love to start to find your voice, because you're gonna have those things where you're like, this resonates with me. And so when they say imitation is the, you know, highest form of flattery, it's because it resonates with you. Now, if you make a carbon copy, you know, that's a start, I guess. But to take those things and make it your own, to find the things that you're like, I love that. That didn't, I don't know. It's a blend, you know. It's a melting pot of creativity, you know. So you can take a little bit of like Chris Nolan and a little bit of Michael Bay, and you can take a little bit of, you know, Paul Thomas Anderson, you know, and you can make that and throw all that into a movie. And you could throw, hey, you know what? I fucking love the Avengers movies. Let's put a little bit of that fun and humor in there. And boom, maybe that's you, you know? But, like, there's something in there that's like that. You've got those four elements that are sitting in there that have been growing with you for your life, but there's something intrinsically you that nobody else can replicate. And when you put all those combinations together, that's, I feel like, when you start to really find your voice and you can, like, make it yours. And when it feels personal to you is when it shines. That is low-key profound. And in fact, somewhere in there, it really reminded me of what Bradley Cooper says to Lady Gaga when they're in the bar for the first time. He's like, look, this guy's got talent, that lady's got talent. It's about finding something worthwhile to say. And I think what you just said, it's a matter of finding your voice. Like you like a little Chris Nolan, you like the Coen brothers, you're taking all of this art in, and you know, like I'm a firm believer that, like, you know, we that call ourselves artists, like we are just low key not a carbon copy, but we are what we like in that sense, like what we are attracted to the most. And
yeah, I mean, there's no original ideas in a sense, right? But there's
100% agree.
There's an amalgamation that you can do where you change it up. And you go, have you seen this this order of things before? Have you seen this like combination? And you're like, oh shit, no, I haven't. It's like if you go to Home Depot and you look at all the like paint samples, there's a billion different kinds of shades, and that's just changing one little element of like, a little less red and that, and that's a new shade. And so I think that's kind of what we got to do to find our voice, is to figure out where we want to put this amount of this into it versus how much do I speak, and then again, story is king. It has to be. It has to be the thing that drives everything that we do. If you are out, hey, cinematographers, listen up. This is sage advice from somebody who hasn't really made it. But no, like peer to peer. If you are trying to make your stamp on something, then you got to step back and you got to look at the page of the script and you got to go, is this serving the story? And you got to make sure that how you're shooting it is going to be the thing that connects to the audience, because you don't matter as much as the audience does. Like how you shot that doesn't matter.
It's true. Like I told MacLeod, like he's like, well, it's kind of out of our hands now. It's kind of whoever takes it in. I said, yeah, the movie's mine now. Like it's mine. It spoke to me. Yeah. Like it's not yours anymore. I'm the one that, had so many emotions going through it. Whereas, like, of course you guys are happy to know that the project is finding an audience, but it's kind of like you just said, like without the story, there's no audience to find. They're just going to tune out and, start looking at their phone, even though that it's streaming or whatever. And oh man, I was just so blown away by how, and folks out there listening, Michael is being very fucking modest right now. Like he may say, like I wish I would have had a little bit more money to do this, that, or the other thing, but like there are so many things visually that I liked about this film, and I'll wait for the closing to tell you, but you can tell it's not a selfish act when you're watching it. You can tell that when you're watching Michael's work, you're not like, oh, he's showing off here. There's none of that. There's no picking out. Like, I think one of my favorite aspects of the film is the subtle beauty to the visual representation of the story that you created. You can tell me, all you want, like, wow, Adam shot a third of it and I shot 2/3 of it. No, like it's very obvious that you guys are all working together. There's no one trying to, from a crew standpoint to a cast standpoint, no one's trying to upstage each other. And kind of backing up just a bit here, and speaking of the story of this particular story and being on a low budget film, a shoestring budget, I'm sure there's a boatload that you could say, but what were possibly some of your biggest challenges on shooting this Ghost Waits?
Yeah. I was basically the crew. We had a sound guy. It was me shooting everything. It was hotter than shit. It was just miserable to be in that room or that house. Love the house, but it was just, we didn't have air conditioning, and even if we did, we probably would have had to kill it just for audio.
Right.
Dripping sweat. I almost dropped the camera once because my hands were so slick with sweat. But the I don't know, biggest, what was the question? Biggest challenge?
Yeah, biggest challenge. I guess in my head, I would have had to think probably those closing sequences, right? that, especially after looking at a lot of the behind the scenes shots. I gotta think I'm not gonna ruin anything. I'll just say the garage sequence had to have been one of the toughest to shoot, right?
It was. It was indeed, for a multitude of reasons. I can't get into some of them because I don't want to spoil things, but
well, let's start. Well, we'll just say smoke. So I saw a picture. I saw a picture where you literally have someone blowing smoke directly in front of the lens to replicate ... I won't say, but like even the smoke, using the tricks to make that work.
Yeah. We, I don't know how to say all this and dance around what I.
You know what? Just let it ride, dude. Let it ride.
Okay. All right. So we had to have a garage filled with exhaust fumes, and we were struggling to figure out how to get that, how it needed to be in the lens, and our sound guy, all about vaping.
Vape God.
And I was like, I'm like, shit, get over here. Fucking blow to the lens. And so we had MacLeod say some dramatic line. I don't know. He's acting and doing that bullshit. And I was like, oh, God.
He was wrecking me during that sequence. I'd like to tell the audience he was wrecking me.
Oh, he was like, oh, guys, that was such a good take. I'm kidding. I'm just fucking his balls. I love MacLeod. He's so great. No.
So the MacLeod that I heard on the show is not the MacLeod in real life. That's what you're saying.
No, not at all. He's absolutely. He's the best. He's the absolute best.
We are just having fun, audience. We are just having fun.
I'm just teasing him. But no. MacLeod was breaking everyone's heart, and then I'm like, hey, sound guy, Jim, blow into the lens. And he's like, and I'm like, oh, that looks fucking good. And MacLeod is in there like having all the emotions, and I'm over there like, wee, he did it, like a real asshole. And so that's real Hollywood tricks. No, that's bullshit. That's what you do though. You Hollywood has all these like big rigs and all this shit, and it's like, damn it, just be scrappy and just figure it out. Like, figure out how to replicate some shit you need to make a moment, and I'm gonna get on like a little soapbox, I guess, but that's all filmmaking is making a moment. So I think you talked with MacLeod about theater and all that stuff, and I started out in theater myself, and I had an amazing theater director in high school, Kim Eldridge. I'm going to call her out. She's great. But she always looked for what she called the moment of honesty, and that has stuck with me forever, where you can do an entire theater production or show and act your heart out and whatever, but as long as you have that one moment of honesty where that moment rings true to everyone, you got it. You did it. You did your job. And so with film, we have this amazing ability to have that moment of honesty and capture only those, because we're able to take after take. We're able to go, let's do one more. You want to go have like a 5-minute break and just come back, listen to some Wilco or some sad shit or something, and like, come back like fully charged, and it's giving. Here's another big tip for cinematographers: be lighthearted, be fun, but know and recognize the signs of when an actor is trying to get in their space. I fucked it up once with MacLeod, I didn't see his ear pods in or his headphones because ear pods I don't think were a thing when we shot this.